Hey guys, if you're a grammar nerd like me who fixates on every detail, then you have probably come to a halt when writing a paper because you were unsure about correct abbreviations or capitalizations. This video will alleviate some of those uncertainties, and everything that you see is available in a handout on Google Docs. Just click the link below. So, when should you abbreviate? Well, according to Purdue OWL, you should abbreviate when A. The abbreviation is standard and will not interfere with the reader's understanding, and B. If space and repetition can be greatly avoided through abbreviation. Also, you always need to write out whatever you're abbreviating in full first. The OWL says, when abbreviating a term, use the full term the first time you use it, followed immediately by the abbreviation in parentheses. And similarly, in the elements of style, Strunk and White advise that you start your article by writing out names in full, and then later, when your readers have got their bearings, shorten them. Lastly, remember that context is key when it comes to abbreviations. Strunk and White inform us to not use initials for the names of organizations or movements unless you are certain the initials will be understood. Write things out. So, how do you properly abbreviate? Well, for capitalized abbreviations, whether there are periods and/or spaces depends on what type of abbreviation it is. When it's purely capitalization, there are no spaces and no periods, like with HTML or USA. But when using the United States as an adjective, you must use periods. If an abbreviation for a proper name, then a period and space follows each abbreviation, as with J.K. Rowling. And when concealing a person's identity, you would punctuate each abbreviation with a period, but without spaces. For lowercase letter abbreviations, you must use a period if the abbreviation ends with a lowercase letter, as with English, volume, editor, edition, and page. When abbreviating measurements, you use neither periods nor spaces, except when abbreviating inches, because without the period, it is just the word in, which can confuse the reader. Also, you only abbreviate measurements when they're paired with an actual number, like 61 feet or 27 minutes. You don't just abbreviate to shorten the word. And lastly, Latin and reference abbreviation only include periods after each abbreviated word, like e.g. for exempligratia or vol for volume. As a final note on abbreviation, in the curious case of punctuating educational degrees, Purdue OWL claims that you don't need periods when abbreviating. Strunk and White say differently. Whether or not you use periods is purely a stylistic choice, but your professor, editor, or whomever it is that you're working for or under might prefer a certain style. Remember, though, that neither choice includes spaces. Also, all titles, whether abbreviated or not, are preceded by a comma. According to Strunk and White, though, junior is an exception to this rule, but due to common convention, this is a stylistic choice, just as punctuating educational degrees was. Also, to form the plural of abbreviations, add s alone without apostrophe or italicization, except in special cases, like when the plural of p for page is two p's for pages. And lastly, Purdue OWL's APA and MLA abbreviations guides, Strunk and White's The Elements of Style, and Trimble's Writing with Style all provide lists and examples of commonly used abbreviations if you are ever unsure. Now, what should we capitalize? There are some things that we should, hopefully, already know how to capitalize, like the first word of a sentence and proper nouns. The following guidelines are really just representative of what I think can be host to very common capitalization errors, and are all from a list on Purdue OWL. Always capitalize specific deity names, religious figures, and holy books, like Buddha, the Virgin Marys, and the Holy Bible. But don't capitalize God when used non-specifically. Titles preceding names should be capitalized, as you might already know, but don't capitalize the title when it comes after the name. Capitalize Mayor when saying Mayor Marks, but not John Marks the Mayor. The same can also be said for familial relationships that are used as proper names. You capitalize Aunt when you address your Aunt Camille or refer to her as Aunt Camille, but never when you say Camille, my aunt. One of the biggest capitalization blunders lies in directions and directional names. When the direction is a name, as in, I visited the South for Christmas, you do capitalize. But when it's a compass direction, like in saying, you have to drive north and then turn east, you do not capitalize. And the last common capitalization mistake is capitalizing seasons. When they are part of a title, like Spring Break 2012, you capitalize. But when used generally, as in the seasons are winter, spring, summer, and fall, you do not. And lastly, as a final note on capitalization, if you need any more help or think you're making other potential mistakes in capitalization that weren't addressed in this video, please visit Purdue OWL. I hope that this has really helped you guys out. Thanks for watching.